This video will go through the steps to create a booking form. To make it easier to reference, we will create a booking form with the same functions as one of the formpiece.com demos. See the URL on screen for the direct link. When you set up a Formpiece account, you will need to configure a Simpro integration. If you decide to use payments, you'll also need a Stripe integration. With this demo, I'm going to use a pre-configured Simpro and Stripe integration. Also, this demo will go through the main settings for a generic booking workflow. While Formpiece has evolved with client requirements over time, it could take a while to go through every feature in a single video. Setting up this demo will involve the following. Booking form, this is where we set up the booking fields, the staff calendars, and the payments. Service template, this is where Simpro cost centers, pre-builds, and service fees are configured. And regions, this is for defining geographic boundaries for your service areas. Useful for filtering out addresses outside the places where you work. Assuming you have signed up to Formpiece with a subscription, navigate to Simpro bookings on the left menu. If you don't have a subscription, the free accounts will have limited functionality, some of which won't be available on this demo. Navigate to the Forms tab on the top menu. Then towards the top right, click Create Form. We'll fill in the form name. Description is like an intro for the form, so we'll leave this blank for now. Allow bookings to existing projects is for when you want existing customers to fill in additional details for an existing job or quote. We'll leave this turned off for this demo as there's more steps involved with setting the form up. Disable service selection is used if you don't want to add any pre-builds or service fees. We'll leave that off for the demo. Disable booking date time is used when you don't need scheduling on your quote or job. We'll also leave it off for this demo. Notes are simply for internal reference. We can leave this blank. We need to select a Simpro company to refer all our Simpro details to. A default cost center is only required if you disable service selection and keep booking date time selection on. Default time zone is required to maintain consistency for the background integration of the form bookings. Time intervals are used for Simpro scheduling. It's important that it matches the setting on your Simpro schedule format. What that Simpro schedule setting does is rounds up any schedules that you set up in your services to fit the Simpro calendar. We'll leave it at 30 minutes for this demo. Currency display is the symbol for any prices that you display on the form. Distance units are used for geo-search or distance-based functionality on the form. This demo won't use geo-search features since there's more planning involved. Region label is dependent on the country you are based in. We'll select state for this demo. Once you save the form, all the form options will become available. For the next step, we'll create a service template which is used to assign any pre-builds or service fees that you automatically need to add when a booking is made. We'll navigate to Simpro Service Templates on the left menu, then click on Create Service button on the top right. We'll name the service template Inspection, select the time zone, assign the service template to Job, and select service for job type. Then we'll select the same Simpro company used on the booking form. The service template must also be visible to booking forms. Workflow portals and mobile app are optional, but we'll turn them off for this demo. Add-on service is when you want the service to be automatically added to a booking, for example, a weekend surcharge. We'll turn this off for now. Once you save the template, the rest of the options will become available. We'll navigate to Cost Center and select the primary cost center. Then we'll navigate to Pre-builds and then search for a pre-build to add to the template. Same goes with service fees. We'll search for a service fee to add to the template. If your Simpro build has default service fees, you can choose to remove them when your job gets created. Now that we've saved the service template, we'll now add a region. Regions are optional. However, we've included them in this demo to show how forms can be restricted by regions and also time. We'll navigate to regions and click on Create Region. There's two options for region types, polygon and postcode. Polygon is for drawing a shape around the service area, and postcode is for predefined postal regions. We'll create a postcode region so I can show you how you can use multiple postcodes with area matching to define a region. We'll make this region based in Victoria, Australia. We'll create a postcode region starting with 30 and select area match for the match type. Then we'll add another postcode region starting with 31 and also select area match for the match type. Without getting detailed, those postcode areas roughly cover majority of Metro Melbourne. We'll save the region and go back to the forms and edit the form we created. Back in the booking form, we will go to services and select the service template that we created earlier. We will make the template active, leave the form label the same as the service template. We'll then assign 40 minutes to the scheduled minutes. Since we're setting up pricing, we'll set a default display price. We won't disable bookings, and we'll make the service available all year. We'll keep the private notes empty. Earlier on, we selected 30 minutes as the time intervals. So when a booking is made, the schedule will round up to 60 minutes when it's saved in Simpro. With the display price, note that this price is only a label, as the final price can be influenced by other factors, such as add-ons, which we didn't create for this demo. While we won't use service categories or optional services for this demo, service categories are used for grouping services, and service options are sub-services that combine multiple service templates together. This can involve deep planning, so we'll leave service options out for this demo. We'll now go into regions and check allow region searching. Region searching is used to make sure that when an address is entered into the form, it will be checked against the region boundaries. In this demo, the region is any Australian address with a postcode beginning with a 30 or 31. Any addresses that match these postcodes will display a selectable service, which in our case was the inspection service we created. As mentioned before, we'll skip GeoSearch due to the planning involved. Next up is time groups or time windows, which are used for when you don't want to offer specific booking times. We'll create two time groups, a morning one and an afternoon one, and leave them open for Monday to Friday. The maximum booking fields is for limiting the bookings within the time window if you need to allow time gaps. We'll leave them blank for now. Then we go to calendar, which is where we link up the staff calendars for bookings. We'll select the inspection service that we created earlier. Then we'll allow time groups and select the time groups we just created. We'll search for a staff member and add them as a calendar. We'll make the calendar active, select the schedule rate, set the start time and finish time based around the time windows, allow 2 weeks worth of bookings between Monday to Friday. We'll leave team schedules and add-on services blank for the demo. We'll select the required fields for the site address, and we'll select the site contact fields. While custom fields are supported, we'll leave them out. All the other site settings can be left as default. Then we'll select the fields we want to collect about the customer. We'll also leave customer, location, and postal fields unchecked. We'll select the job description field so that the customer can enter in booking details. And we'll enable attachments. To allow payments, we had a Stripe integration prepared. We'll turn on allow payments, select the payment method, enter in a deposit account. Depending on your Simpro settings, you may need to select an accounting category. Then select the payment currency and enter in the currency symbol. With the service pricing, this is where we enter the price settings for each service. We'll turn on allow payments to enable the payment for each service. Payment required can be turned off if you want to make the payment optional. The payment amount is the amount that would be charged on the form. Just note that the payment amount needs to be less than or equal to the calculated price. The service fee is for any transaction fees. And finally, the invoice type would be based on the payment amount. Since the payment amount is less than the calculated price, we'll choose deposit. We won't touch pricing, legal, actions, and Simpro notes for this demo. To get the form displaying on the website, we'll go to the Embed tab. We'll copy the embed code and then insert it into the website. For this demo, we'll go back to formpiece.com for an example embedded form. Then we'll quickly scroll through and confirm that the form looks as expected. While this demo was focused on building a booking form, we recommend some additional steps such as testing with Simpro, create some test bookings, and make sure that the Simpro information is as expected. Custom styling. The booking forms are designed to be blended to your website. There's a Styles tab where there's a bunch of options to update the look and feel of your form. These settings may be a little technical, however, you can contact us if you need some custom styling help. And additional help. This demo was a quick run through of some of the settings for creating a form. Given that workflows can be implemented in Simpro in many different ways, feel free to contact us for any help or advice on how to set up your booking forms.